The defending PFL welterweight champion returns to the championship fight. Sadibou Sy was introduced to the PFL at only 6-2 for their inaugural season back in 2018 as a very green striker, and has now developed into the superstar that we see in cage today. He struggled in his first 3 seasons to find his footing, changing weight classes a couple times before finding his groove in the welterweight division, breaking out last year and running the table on all his opponents straight to $1 million grand prize and the PFL welterweight title. Let's have a look at some of the Swedish Professional Fighters League fighter Sadibou Sy for today's episode.
Oh, Till's out! It's over! It's over! It's over! It's what I'm saying, boy! Oh! He got dropped! It's over! It's over! Munoz! Oh my God!
A now staple in the PFL, a champion, and riding a 6-fight win streak, he's probably putting on his most impressive performances in this season of the PFL. We'll start before the Professional Fighters League for this video. Sadibou came into mixed martial arts very late into his life, originally traveling the world and fighting in over 70 kickboxing and Muay Thai contests. Although not starting mixed martial arts early, he still gained valuable combat experience throughout his younger years. He accumulated a trophy case full of gold and lost only 5 matches in kickboxing and Muay Thai. He debuted to martial arts in 2013. In his brief career on the regional scene that lasted about 5 years, but only contained 8 fights, his karate kickboxing style won him a majority of these fights. He knocked out Gabor Barraros, Carl Booth, David Round, Nico Sokolis. Also notable in this stretch, he also suffered 2 finishes. Why that's notable in my opinion is that through his 17-fight PFL career, his 10-4-3 PFL record, he has only been finished once in all of those fights. So you can see that when you say he's been finished 3 times in his career, only one of them came in the PFL, and it came all the way back in 2019. The rangy striker was signed to the PFL again in 2018. From 2013 to 2017, he bounced between the 185-pound middleweight division and the 170-pound welterweight division. He took 4 fights at 185, he took 2 fights at 170, and he took 2 fights at a catch weight at around 176. But for the first season of the PFL in 2018, Sadibou Sy represented the middleweight division at 185 pounds and took on competitors that, in my opinion, were much bigger than him. He lost his debut to Bruno Santos, who was a Brazilian wrestler with twice the years of professional mixed martial arts experience, including 10 more pro mixed martial arts bouts and 3 in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So Sadibou Sy was not set up for success in this debut, but he bounced back again against a much more experienced fighter who debuted to pro MMA in 2009. Caio Magalhães was also a former UFC middleweight, holding a record of 4-3 in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and again started his pro mixed martial arts career in 2009 to Sadibou Sy's 2013 start. But in this second fight, Sadibou Sy was able to display his potential, KOing his opponent in the second round with a beautiful head kick and showing the PFL that they might have a developing star on their hands. Based on the PFL system, these 2 wins would land him with a playoff spot, and he would get a rematch against Bruno Santos. He would take the victory in the fight, but it was a rather weird situation. They only fight 2 rounds. Back in the PFL days on these earlier seasons, you actually fought 2 times in the same night. The first fight was 2 rounds. The second fight, the semifinal, was 3 rounds. But if the 2 rounds ended in a draw, there was a first round rule, which meant that the winner of the first round would automatically move into the semifinals, even though the fight was declared a draw. He would meet a well-known, now UFC middleweight in Abus Magomedov, and Sadibou Sy would unfortunately come out on the losing end due to a very ordinary way for him to lose in the PFL via decision over 3 rounds, and that would move him to the next year. And in 2019, he made the significant move, going to, in my opinion, his ideal weight class where he performs the best, the welterweight division, to take on guys that are a little bit smaller that would have a little bit more difficulty in trying to find the takedown. So in 2019, he would open up the campaign with a perfect under 22nd finish of David Michaud, and it was with a perfect body kick, but his second outing would be his first and only finish loss in the PFL, and it would come to Italian Franco. He'd still reach the playoff based on his first round win in his previous fight, but was again on the losing end of what benefited him the year prior, the first round rule, where he lost the first round to Ray Cooper, and in a draw, he was forced out of the PFL playoffs. Then we would skip 2020 being canceled due to COVID. And in 2021, it was much of the same as 2019. Sadibou had a no contest in his first fight, so no points there, but won his second fight. This wasn't enough for the playoffs, losing the potential 3 points in the first fight, but still he'd get into the semifinal due to an injury to Joao Zeferino, and he'd lose to his opponent on Saturday night, Magomed Magomedkerimov. So Sadibou would get back to the drawing board and continue to flush out his skill set at this new weight class, and 2022 would be where he jumps to stardom. Reeling off 3 straight decisions, the results weren't the same finishes that we were used to, but he was getting the job done against all his opponents, and it included probably the biggest win of his entire career against a UFC top contender and all-time great in the Canadian Rory MacDonald. And Sadibou was a 3-1 underdog coming into the fight, which made it even more impressive, although the in-fight performance wasn't as spectacular and didn't really leave a very, very clear winner, with Rory pushing the pace, but Sadibou defending and probably landing more damage by the end of the fight. But with Sadibou getting the nod, he would move to the semifinals, being undefeated in the regular season format, and he would defeat Carlos Leal in the semifinals to move him into a final spot as a -175 favorite. He could taste the championship at the end of the road. And finally, he did achieve what you would want to achieve as a PFL fighter, the highest of PFL accomplishments. He was crowned the welterweight champion. Sadibou Sy won on all 3 judges' scorecards, 29-27, and cashed a pretty $1 million check, as well as getting a lot of the promotional push this season in 2023. And this promotional push could not have come at a better time in Sadibou's career, because he's ridden the momentum straight into 2023, landing some of his best knockouts that we've seen in his career. He started the 2023 season off with a KO of a very touted Jordanian prospect in Jarrah Hussein El Salawi, and then followed that up with one of his most explosive knockouts in his entire career against Shane Mitchell with a spinning wheel kick in the 3rd round. These performances again got him into the playoffs. If you get 2 wins, especially via finish, you can almost guarantee yourself in the welterweight playoffs, and he would fight Carlos Leal again for their second fight, and the resulting split decision win for Sadibou Sy would set him up in the finals at where we are now. But that'll do it for today's video, guys. Do you think Sadibou Sy is going to win the PFL championship here in 2023? And do you think he can win more PFL championships in the years to come? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.